answers. I have
Do
all
you?
the answers.
Do you?
Oh, that huge like fisherman suplex that he does off the top rope with Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega was like disgusting and huge and amazing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. The stuff all the like stuff they did off the ropes, the whole match was incredible though. Like that's where they both kind of shined, I think, because they didn't do typical Kenny stuff where it's like literally middle of the ring technical stuff. Like they avoided it, I felt, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome, and it leaves a lot of room for next time and probably the time after that, and the 6 more times we'll see it after that, because it's just going to keep going.
Oh yeah, we saw Jericho and MJF like 28 times.
Dude, MJF the last 2 weeks, the stuff he says that's super mean is hardcore. Like, you haven't watched this week yet. The stuff he says about Darby Allin's dead uncle is messed up.
God. Can't wait to see it.
So it's brutal. And he's a hometown guy. I think he's from New Jersey. And he turns on them the second he goes out there too. Like he just doesn't.
He's gonna be a career heel. I think he'll never be a face ever. He'll never do it.
I think he'll just legitimately be like an actor soon.
What's that?
I think he'll do movies soon, like in his 20s.
Too, but I think in wrestling he'll never be a face. I just don't think so. I think he wants to be a bad guy. I think that's just what he likes doing.
He's too good at it.
Boys.
It's the sports program on TSPN with Derek, Zach, and Sean, who's been here the whole time. Head over to timespentpoorly.com and give the show a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and help move this show into more people's suggested lists. This show is also streamed live on many platforms, including YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on an opportunity to chat in and give the guys a piece of your mind during the broadcast. Want to support the show? Great! Go to patreon.com/timespentpoorly to see how you can do that. And now it's my pleasure to bring you the hosts of the sports program on TSPN, Derek, Zach, and Sean.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We are live at 12:30-ish. Yeah, it kills me too. Actually, I just noticed that in that intro, we are all three at different locations.
So we are now?
We have all three moved locations since that was put together.
No longer Studio B.
Yeah, we're at Studio A for all of us. Welcome to the show. We missed a show last week. We missed all of our supporters. I had a terrible week on fantasy. I had a worse week on Pick'em.
Yeah. I just watched you go down further and further.
Dude, oh my God. I'm so bad.
Me and Shawnee Boy are tied, though. We're both tied for third.
Yep.
Neck and neck.
And I've got to
screwed me.
You know what's funny is the Steelers also screwed me, right?
Listen here, nerds. Actually, I got quarrels with both of y'all because the Steelers and the Niners both screwed me because I had the Niners over the Packers as well.
Well, guess what? I don't have beef with you because I picked the Falcons.
I didn't pick the Falcons. So if I would have, or did I? Maybe I did.
I don't think you did.
I'm in 11th place, dude. I suck.
I picked the Falcons last week. Bruh.
Yeah, cool.
I did make a pick before Thursday night's game, though, and I did choose right. I chose the Bengals, obviously.
Avi.
So I feel pretty good about that.
I just didn't think you would go against Danny Dimes, You
didn't think I would go against Danny Dimes or Derek would go against Danny Dimes?
You dirty little dime lover.
But I don't like him more than my own squadron.
Let's talk shop, huh? What's the questions you got? You said you had some questions, and I'm ready.
Well, I got 2. We can start with either, but I'm actually curious more with you, Sean, because I think me and Derek had this topic a couple years ago, which you were here for sure, but you just didn't answer the question. You were here, but you forgot to answer. Probably don't remember it by now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What got you into football? Was it fantasy football?
I mean, I actually got really into it before I even joined a fantasy league.
Was just watching football what got you into football, though, is what I'm wondering. Because here's why. I was watching Madden commercial the other day, and I realized, like, I strictly got into actual football because I loved playing Madden. And eventually, like, I started rooting for the players in real life that I was rooting for in the game. But I don't think the next generation of people is the same. I think I know a lot of people now that for at least a decade of me knowing them did not give a shit about football. And then someone talked them into playing in a fantasy football league with them, and they started watching the games with them on the weekend, and they got hooked, and then eventually picked a team. Like, they actually picked a team that they liked after they got into fantasy football.
Yeah.
So I was curious. I'm curious with both of you.
I think that's the new wave, though, right? Fantasy football is life. But no, it was a couple years before I started.
I think the
fantasy
league also got a lot of people into fantasy football.
That was my follow up. Is what got you into fantasy football, which for most people was the TV show The League.
I think the league did a really big thing with fantasy football. I really do.
I got invited by coworkers, but I did watch The League.
I think a lot of normies got into fantasy football from watching The League. I never did fantasy football, and I didn't do it even after The League. You guys got me into fantasy football. I'd never. If you watch the show, like, I never did it prior to last year. Last year was my first year doing any fantasy football.
Yeah.
What got me into football, though, is my mom was a huge Steelers fan. So I just grew up with the Steelers, and I always really liked the black and gold. So I always had, like, do you remember those old, like, the starter jackets?
Oh, yes, dude. Those are worth a lot of money now.
Oh, yeah. I wish I still had mine, man. I had two. I got one Christmas. My mom got me a Steelers starter jacket. And I wore that until basically, like, she got it to me like 5 sizes too big because they were super expensive. So I was like in 5th grade wearing this huge jacket to school. And then I outgrew it by about 8th grade. And then I got another one. But my mom was a huge Steelers fan. I didn't really start watching a ton of football, though. Like, I watched the Super Bowl where they lose to the Cowboys. And I always hated the Cowboys. I still do. But I started really getting into football, like actually watching it, when I started playing in junior high. Like 7th grade, I started playing football. That's when I actually started watching, like, like learning the game. Like, I actually learned it. I was a lineman, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch football now too.
You got to check out Riz Nation's comments, Derek.
But I definitely didn't. God.
So
by the time Monday night came, he had me beat. He was. I think he was 1 point below me by the time Monday started, and his quarterback hadn't even played the game yet. So I was like, "Fuck!" Like, I was like, "Well, this is it. Like, I'm done."
Who's his quarterback? Is he a Dak? He got Dak?
No, that Jeff got Dak. Jeff has Dak,
right.
Cooper, and Zeke. Like a
yeah.
So
Randy,
my one
beat
loss,
me bad, I'll admit it.
Jeff is my one loss. He'll be my one loss this year. I'm running the table rest of the way. I don't see a world where any of these jabrones.
You get into football.
Wait, what are you talking about?
So I was one of those kids.
I'm going to beat you. Let's go look. You keep running your mouth real fast.
I got into football. I was one of those kids who literally played, like, elementary school, 3rd, 4th grade. Like, you'd wait for the people that are supposed to be watching you to not pay attention. You switch it from 2-hand touch to tackle, and
you're that guy.
I actually wasn't even a Falcons fan. I was a Eddie George fan, so I was a Titans fan.
Very nice.
And then I always had a soft spot for the Falcons because the first game I ever watched that I remember was the Falcons-Denver 1999 Super Bowl that they got pummeled. And I've always liked underdogs, so I picked the team that was clearly not going to win the game to root for, and that's been a mistake ever since. But Then the Falcons drafted Michael Vick, and it just sealed the deal.
Yeah.
Like then I was like all in. I didn't care about Eddie George anymore. I just liked Eddie George though, and here's where I was circling back to. I only liked Eddie George in the Titans because I liked to play with Eddie George on Madden. He was like my go-to guy. He was pretty hard to stop. My dad would be the Steelers. I would be the Titans, and that's the matchup we always played until Michael Vick got introduced to the game. And then like that's when I finally started beating my dad, is when I just started QB sneaking with Michael Vick every other play. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is my guy. This is my guy.
Until he let the animals kill each other.
Oh, dude, I
no,
did
he's still my guy. Still is.
Yeah, I did think of a couple moments though. One moment I thought of that got me more into football would be when I got my first job out of high school, where I was working more independently and I was driving a lot. I was a delivery driver for this company. Like we delivered industrial parts, and that's when I started listening to sports radio. So like Dan Patrick, like Dan and Keith, like the Big Show, like with Dan and Keith. This was like ESPN circa like 2004. So in like 2004, I got even more into sports because I started listening to Dan Patrick on the radio, and then Rich Eisen. Uncle Dan and Uncle Rich got me more into sports. Like I love those shows. I still watch their shows or listen to their shows or watch them. So they got me more into sports. And then I will say also like this show got me way more into sports than what I ever was. Like I was excited to do a sports show because I was already into sports, but this show is definitely I think it made me quit.
Well, and it's crazy now. Like you can tell, like college football, NFL, all these major American sports, they know exactly what they're doing, right? Like now there's big college football games on Friday. You know, like Power 5 conferences, like Iowa played last night, not on a Saturday. They know that like as Americans, we will consume as much football as possible. You can put it on a Tuesday, you can put it on a Wednesday, and we'll all just neglect our significant others and just double down on it. And then our excuse is it's football season. After football season, you don't have to worry about it. This is just going to occupy over a third of the entire year.
Except I just literally, I've been, social media has helped. Like I just saw all of the NBA preseason interviews and stuff. Like they're all like getting ready to start, and I'm like, ooh, basketball is coming back.
Yeah, and then I say it's just basketball. It's only half the year long. It's just going to occupy a little bit over 50% of the entire year.
50% of the week because there's a game every night.
Yeah, and I also watch UFC every weekend. So good luck seeing me.
Also, October.
You can see me. You just have to sit next to me. It is
October right now. Baseball really this is the big month for baseball. Really, like
this is when people start watching it. Sometimes for the first time in the year. Some people wait until October to even care. Like, is my team in it? If they are, I'll pay attention. I didn't want to watch.
Not out of it. My team is not out of it.
This will be the first time. I mean, it's the first time that the Mariners will make the playoffs in over 20 years, right? But so that'll mean it's the first time that both of our teams will be in the playoffs at the same time, probably ever.
Okay, so you need to. How many games? What does Seattle got to do?
The Mariners lost last night. But they're not out of it yet. I think right now if I was looking at it correctly at the standings, I think right now if it was today, I think the Mariners would be the other wild card spot.
Okay.
If it was today.
Okay.
But they lost last night, which didn't help. I mean, it didn't necessarily hurt either. I mean, they were on a huge winning streak. Like, I think the Mariners are going to get into the playoffs this year. I think they're just
that'd be huge
right now, and I think, yeah. What are you? And I was reading a bunch of tweets about it. Like, by the way, you guys, the Mariners were trending on Reddit and Twitter, and like, a Seattle team was trending online that wasn't the Seahawks. Like, this is huge for the Mariners. These guys, somebody pointed out, it's who I can't remember who he is. He's a host of ESPN 710 though in Seattle. He pointed out that these guys on the Mariners, other than like Seager or Haniger, have never played a game with 40,000 people in the stands. Like these are all like young kids. Like JP Crawford's a kid. Like they're all
Dude, JP is my favorite, probably my favorite defensive player I've watched in a long time.
Yeah. And also did you guys see all the stuff too? I've sent you guys some stuff, but like they're all using the Ted Lasso believe sign, which I love. They're using that sign. Like they even had there's a huge picture of the banner and it was up like diagonal and they had the tape in the corners and stuff. Like they're all using the Ted Lasso stuff, which I love.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm into it. I never thought I'd be into a Seattle team, but I'm rooting for them.
I just want them to make it. If they wild card in and lose out in the first round, that's still huge for this team. Like, I mean, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2001.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't think any of us were old enough to even care about that.
I was, because that was a year. That was the 101. I think that was the 101 or 106 win season. Do you guys remember that at all? Like they had 106 or 101 wins, and then they just lost out immediately. They choked immediately in the playoffs, but they had 100. I think it was 106 regular season wins. It was
that was the record at the time, right?
Yeah, and it was huge. Like it was a great season, except for that, and that they had Ichiro. Then they had, I think they had Randy John. They had the big unit. Like that was like a stacked Mariners team too. They might have even had like, and that was 2001. They might have had.
They had everyone.
They might have had A-Rod even.
A-Rod, Griffey.
What's it?
Was that
Edgar
before he went to the Reds? Yeah.
Jay Buhner. Like that was a big Mariners team, and that's the last time they went to the playoffs.
Okay, I guess I remember that team. Question number 2 for you guys.
Okay.
Are there any leagues where you're 1 and 2?
Yes.
I'm 1 and 2 in our league right now.
I am.
So I don't know how it'll be with the 17th game this year, right? Like we have the extra game.
Mm-hmm.
But usually 1 and 2, similar to, I think, real life 1 and 2, like the real teams that are playing this week that are 1 and 2. Going 1 and 3 kind of feels like your season's starting to be over. Like, you know what I mean? Slim pickings.
It's only
yeah.
It's
in fantasy, especially in leagues where you invested, like, there's a buy-in, right? You start to feel like your money's not coming back to you in any way. So I'm checking the pulse. Question number 2 is really just a pulse check. How you feeling about that 1 and 2 team?
Well, I'm going to be 2 and 2 after this. I do think I'm going to win this weekend. I think.
2 and 2 feels fine, right? Back to 500 is fine.
Yeah, I'll take 500, and I think I made some adjustments today, even just this morning while talking to you guys. That I think I'll win this today.
Who'd you pick up? I already know who you picked up, but tell the viewers who you picked up, who you're playing them over. Give them the scoop.
Okay, so I didn't realize that Gronk was hurt, so I benched him. And I ended up picking up. I did go get Hunter Renfroe for my flex. After you told me to get him, I wouldn't even have known. So I picked him up, and then
that's for your second flex, right? Flex number 2.
Yeah, it's for my second flex because I also am using Emmanuel Sanders, which I had him on my bench.
So I think that if you Emmanuel Sanders is interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Emmanuel Sanders is one of those guys I think every week of the season is just going to become more and more important. But I think it was a little bit of a slow start, and it allowed people to still get him on the waiver like 3-4 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfroe, I think it's just the simple fact that he's a little white guy that people left him on the waiver for so long. But Derek Carr's throwing for 400 yards a game, which means he's targeting Hunter Renfroe minimum 7 times a game. That's like his safety blanket, right? He finally got a touchdown last week. I don't think Renfroe's getting you a touchdown every week, but if he's getting you 6 catches every week, that's a great second flex, especially if you're in this like limbo week right now. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of in the same position because I had Deontay Johnson in a couple leagues, Claypool in a couple leagues, and they were my second flex because I don't play Steeler receivers as my wide receiver 1 or 2 because you never know who's going to be the hot guy.
Right.
But I do feel like Claypool single-handedly took the team over for deep targets. Like he is getting a ton of looks deep every game. So I felt pretty confident about him. Just set him and forget him, but now he's out. Yeah. So I don't know what the Steelers are going to do this week. I guess
I'm still running with Najee Harris, though. I am still using Najee Harris. He's still been getting me points. Like he's still doing good.
He's one of those guys where none of his, if you looked at box score, right? Like not your fantasy app, but if you just looked at a box score and saw his numbers, you go, oh, that's not that great of a game. But then you look at fantasy and he's putting up like 18 to 20 points because he's doing a little bit of everything because he has to already.
Right.
He doesn't have a 100-point game, and I don't think that's his fault at all. They did not choose to build the line. I would have drafted a running back in the third and went offensive line, but
yeah,
I mean, he's talented. It's just what can he do with that offensive line?
I will say that this is Ben's last year, though. I don't mean last year as a Steeler. I mean, no one's going to take him.
No.
He's showing it, like, because a lot of people a lot of sports radio, a lot of speculation on whether or not Ben might end the season with the Steelers and go somewhere else. I don't think anybody picks him up. I think maybe he knows. Maybe he knows this is his last season too. Like, this is it.
It's sad when you reach the point where you're kind of like, dear God, just stop playing.
Yeah.
But he might have been there last year.
Yeah.
And that's rough. And
that game with the Bengals, they were just 3 and out.
Do you think he gets benched?
No.
You don't think?
No, I don't think so either. I think they'll ride it.
They'll write him out. They're going to give him his last season. I don't think he goes past the season though. He is done. I mean, he is. I think he's gonna. But I don't like I said. I don't think another team picks him up. I think he's done. I think he retires a Steeler. I don't see him. I don't see any other team wanting to take the risk on him. You know.
But I think you're implying that this is like a respect issue with him, right? Like they're not going to bench him because of his legacy. But yeah. I think different reasons. I think they're not going to bench him because one, I believe Dwayne Haskins is banged up, so he's not even listed as their number 2 right now. And 2, they know what happens when Kyle Rudolph comes into a game. So
Mason
I don't
Rudolph.
think it's.
I wish it was Kyle Rudolph.
Whatever, Kyle Rudolph. Yeah, you're right.
But
Mason
I wish
Rudolph,
it was Kyle Rudolph though. At least
Kyle Rudolph can probably throw a football better.
Right.
No, I think it's just because they know what happens in that situation. And even if Haskins wasn't hurt, I think they think that's a project. So they're kind of stuck with what they got.
I think the Steelers could still finish 500 on the season. I really do. I think.
Well, there's no 500 now. 17 games. True. You're either above or below. I think they're above, by the way. I think they're above.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're going to win some games that they shouldn't win. I mean, who knows?
Because of their defense.
They might win. Who knows? Let's say, weirder things have happened. They lost the Bengals last week. Maybe they come out on Sunday and they beat the Packers in a miraculous fashion. Like, who knows? I mean, it's a weird team. They're consistently inconsistent, and that they've always been that way.
Well, and they're not going to. Their offensive line isn't so bad that someone's going to get to Ben every week, right? When he has time, he can still throw the deep ball, and he's got so many options when they're healthy. But ultimately, and Sean pointed this out to me last week because I took the Steelers, and he's like you, diehard Steelers fan, and he said, "I'm taking the Bengals. Like, if we're healthy, sure, I think we can be a 3-0 team, but we're not. Like, our very best players are not out. So, it's rocky sledding, but I think with them it can change very quick. This is still the team that just out of like pure defensive talent alone beat Buffalo week 1, right?
Right.
So I think anything can happen. Shawnee boy, though.
I'm going to throw out there one of the other changes I made is I picked up the Dolphins defense rather than the Steelers defense.
Who are the Steelers playing?
Steelers are playing the Packers.
And the Dolphins have the Colts. Colts Pro Bowl left guard, I believe, is out this week. They're already kind of banged up and not moving the ball very well. I think that's smart. It's in Miami, and that's the strength of their team. I still don't trust Miami because I think we got Jacoby Brissett starting again this week. I could be wrong, but
I think he is. I mean, I didn't see different.
Yeah. So
is Tua hurt?
Yeah, Tua's been out a couple weeks now.
Yeah, Tua broke his rib, cracked a rib, right?
Yeah. Are you surprised, Eric?
No.
He's trash.
I'm surprised that it's not his hip.
Well, it's not that he's necessarily trash yet, Sean. We really don't know because he's never been out there long enough to make a judgment on him.
Wouldn't that make you trash?
Tanking for Tua, man.
Like Justin Fields, dude. Trash, bro.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's not very good.
Dude. I'm starting the Lions defense. That's how trash I think Justin's field is.
I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's going to play this week.
Is he? No.
Well, if it's Nick Foles, I'm pulling that Lions defense.
Is
No,
Dalton,
if it's Nick
is
Foles, you
Dalton
need to
hurt?
play the Lions. If it's Nick, yeah, they're all hurt. That's the problem, is that they're all hurt because the offensive line is so bad. Now poor Nick Foles is going to come in and get smashed around too.
Yeah. Well,
Oh boy,
he's not called Big Dick Foles for nothing.
he's
I
not.
don't think
Anyways,
that's-
I am in 6 leagues. I am 2-1
Foles might
in
call himself that.
4. I'm 2-1 in 4 of them, and 1-2 in 2 of them.
But 2-1's almost the same boat, but the opposite way, right? I mean, actually, it's exactly the same thing, but the
Yeah.
opposite. But
Yeah,
it's like if you go to 3-1, you feel really, really good about your year, right?
Yeah. And so
One-
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Jeff,
Yeah,
if
you go ahead.
you have the setup, jump in. Let me know. I'll send you a link.
So here's my issue: is I was kind of confident in my receivers. I had Allen Robinson, Calvin Ridley, and Robert Woods. And I was like, that shouldn't be too bad, but it's not a PPR league, and they're just not doing anything.
Is Robert Woods not getting you any touchdowns? I know Calvin Ridley's not
I
been
mean,
outstanding this year.
let's see here. I mean, Robert Woods, no, I don't think. I think he's got 1 touchdown. But yeah, I mean, last week he had 3 points. No PPR. Playing a not PPR league really hurts my heart. I've realized.
Oh, I'm a big standard guy. I
Yeah.
actually like standard, but
I don't.
I'm not in it. I'm not in a single standard this year.
I don't like it after playing PPR because
Guys
you got someone, I don't know. Najee Harris in a standard league didn't get probably much of anything last week,
No, probably not.
but he got up to 20 points because of PPR. But I also and then I had Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler in this league, right? So I should, and Justin Herbert. So it's like I feel confident, and it's just not working out. And that's the same kind of with my other 1 and 2 team. Actually,
You guys ready to?
my 1 and 2 team is the High Council with you, and that's just a hard league.
Oh yeah, let's get it going. There we go. High Council is an extremely hard league. Everyone plays it well. There's only 5 bench spots, which makes it super hard to decide who to keep. I had like Mooney and a couple other people that I thought would be really big year 2 guys. And just strictly because of the Bears QB situation, Mooney is almost worthless. When Dalton was in, I thought he was on an uptick, but that completely disappeared after last week.
Yeah,
Did anyone get this wrong? We all almost got this wrong. I was scared for the Bengals for a little bit. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but
this game was obviously going to go either way towards the end, right?
I don't know. I got the feeling towards the end that the first quarter from the Jaguars was kind of not a fluke, but I think they kind of like blew their load a little bit. Like they didn't seem like they could stop Joe at all come second half of this game. Joe Burrow was lights out, man. And he didn't even have Higgins. Like he with just Chase and Boyd, he picked him apart. It was pretty crazy.
Trey, we're gonna start doing some fantasy now with our pick'em.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, that's an interesting
we're gonna
question.
start these questions now. It's like
Well,
the supporters know at this point.
I mean,
when to start.
we can wait till we get to the games, or like I would go Debo
Wait to
and
go
then,
eat.
and then
Yeah.
Galladay heated up last week, and Shepard is out. So
Galladay, so I have Galladay in multiple leagues, and I'm gonna bench him until he has like a breakout game.
he heated up last week, dude. He's ready.
He had
And
11 points. He had
Shepard's
11 points.
Shepard's out though.
And Shepard's out. I guess that's a good point. But would you? But the thing is if Deontay's back, I'm taking Deontay.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Same.
Because I would say the other argument there is simply that Claypool's out, and they play the same. They play the same side of the ball. They're going to need a deep threat. I think Deontay is due, especially if the Steelers get down, which they probably are going to get down. Sadly, like they're going to be. Ben's just going to start hucking them deep.
Hucking and chucking in football, man.
Yeah. So.
That's how you feel then.
So Shelby brings up the point in the chat that Slayton and Shepard are both out, but
Oh, I didn't
yes,
know Slayton was out as well.
but
so.
doesn't that also mean that they can put multiple people on Galladay? Like you can put your primary focus on him. So that's the only thing I'd be hesitant on. Although to kind of contradict myself, I have been watching a few Giants games now just because of who they played, and they did have that one primetime game already. He's had a couple non-catches on really big plays, which he's a couple plays away from having a couple monster weeks.
Yeah. Well, and then we bring that up, but then they're going to let Saquon Barkley, who is also starting to heat up.
Oh, and also that does say choose to. So Deontay and Galladay is solid. I didn't realize it said choose to.
But you would
if everyone's really keen on Galladay, I'm still not playing Ingram. I'm still not playing Ingram.
But you got Debo sitting right there, man.
Ingram's one of those guys who the idea of him has kept him like fantasy relevant, but I've had him 3 years in a row. It's been 3 years since I've gotten any production out of him that I would consider him like a tight end one. Are you saying Debo's a must start? Because you might be right.
Against Seattle?
Shelby, here is the question. Okay, here we go.
And he said, who's A-Rob?
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, guys.
All right. We got
Thanks for joining.
Fourth guest here.
Hello.
So, Jeff, when we go through our pick'ems here, we're gonna give you an honorary spot. You gotta pick your pick'em too.
Also,
I did.
Jeff does have one loss in the sports program league, and I was the one to give it to his bitch ass. I just want to throw that out there.
What do you wait? I thought we play this week.
No, we already played. I beat you.
You sure?
Yeah. Remember? Dak and your boys were trying to make the comeback. Monday Night Football. They didn't do it.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah. So you were all flexing in the chat, and I'm flexing
Dude,
on you, brother.
I got within like fucking 6 points, dude. That was close. I was
down
like 50.
Just for the record, though, Allen Robinson's a non-starter no matter what. If you're going to rule out one of those guys, Allen Robinson's the first person to rule out.
Yeah. He doesn't have anybody thrown to him, which is unfortunate because Allen Robinson is a great receiver.
That's funny you mentioned that, Zach. I'm back in the fucking High Council League, in case you didn't see that.
I started the movement. I started the movement there.
And I immediately started making moves to Richard's team, and first one was to take Allen Robinson out of the fucking starting line.
I voted for you, Jeff, because Jesse Economan beat me last week, so I wasn't going to vote for anybody related to him.
Was Micah one of the people I was going to...
PJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I said, not interested. So Allen Robinson is a non-starter no matter how you slice this. If you want to go Debo and Galladay or Deontay and Galladay, I'm okay with either of those. It sounds like people are just really pushing the Galladay button. If it was me, I'm going Debo and Deontay all the way. Like, that's not a question. But do what you want. I'd go Debo, Deontay. Those two. Allen Robinson, no way. Galladay's got to at least have one good week before you can say volume alone, but that's how often does that work out?
Yeah. All right.
Volume alone, and then they put two people on him the entire game.
Should we move on to the second game?
Yeah. Game 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Hey, new here, guys. Are you guys taking questions? We certainly are. Simple Trading Joe.
What are you trading me, bro?
Questions.
Throw your question out, and we're doing a pick 'em at the same time. So what we'd like to do is we try to get to the game specifically where your players are going to be playing in.
Jeez, but you wild, baby.
Mr. Swan will answer them as they come in.
Oh, back to that game though. Man, it was a bummer to see Mixon get hurt near the end of it because he was having a monster game, but also him getting hurt really sealed the deal. Because I have Joe Burrow in a couple leagues. I'm riding the Burrow train, and I was playing against Mixon in both of those. So it's one of those games where you're like heavily invested in one side of the ball, but then also if they hand the ball off every single time, you're stressed out. So
I got in my my league for work, I have Mixon, and he gave me some pretty good points before he got hurt, so I was pretty happy.
I'm just saying I'm glad he got hurt when he did, because I think it was going to be much more. I think he was just going to keep going in the fourth.
Yeah.
But Joe Burrow looks like the real deal. That was my takeaway from that game, and I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, man. He's still on the Jaguars. Regardless of how he should be, he's still on the Jaguars.
Game 2.
Right, game 2, Washington Football Club against the Falcons. I'm taking the Washington Football Club on the road.
Same.
I have a hard time with this one. I think it could go either way.
What did you?
Too. I just went with who everybody else took.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously picked Washington, but it's hard because I think I want to believe in. Go ahead, Zach. You just go ahead.
Here we go.
I took the Falcons.
Okay, now sell me on it. Sell me on it.
If this would have been week 1, I would have taken Washington because they, in my opinion, I thought they were going to start the year with a top 3 defense, but they've been a bottom 5 defense every single week since then. They're making Taylor Heineke get into shootouts with people to win games. This is not the Washington team that we think that it is. I think this will be the first. Actually, it'll be pretty similar to last week. I think it'll be similar to the Giants game. The Giants played Washington close, right? Like the Giants and Washington was a nail biter until the end of the game. I think the Falcons' offense will finally start to look a little better. I went and picked up Patterson in a couple leagues because he just seems like the safety valve right now. The guy's getting like 7 catches a game out of the backfield. They're moving him all over the place. Bummed about Kyle Pitts. I think it was too soon. But I don't know. I like the offense. I think the defense is okay. I thought they were going to have a problem with Daniel Dimes last week, especially because of Jalen Hurts picking him apart on like the RPO game in week 1. But they handled him fine. I mean, they kind of stopped Daniel Jones at what he's good at. So I think they'll be okay this week. And yeah, not really sold on the Washington offense. And I think it comes down to the pass rush because Matt Ryan can't handle it. He's at the point now where if someone's coming running at him, he just flops. Doesn't even try to move out of the way anymore. He just falls over and takes the sack. So questionable plays, but I think the play calling will be good enough for them to win the game.
You 100% sold me. I switched to the Falcons.
Wow.
I picked them last week against the Giants. We didn't even talk about it last week because we didn't do a show. And, and it was like I said before I said I picked Washington. I go, this one's hard for me. So,
what's not hard? The next one. And I hope it's not hard for anybody.
We had a question from Simple Trading Joe. The crypto thing was what I asked him, so I'm glad he answered that question. But go ahead. Read it, Zach.
What?
I asked him, what do you trade?
I'm not playing Trey Sermon. Well, so that just comes down to the injury stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like the 49ers, they're going to play whoever's healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Trey Sermon ends up being the healthy guy, I guess that makes sense. This is hard, man. These are all bad.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll show the second thing here. He was trying to make trades, but yeah, they're not going to trade you.
Are you in a league with David Olinger?
Yeah, you might have to play Trey and just hope that the Niners just nonstop run the football like they tend to do. Like there are certain times. Certain times where the Niners have 2 running backs that have big games. So maybe that's the way to go.
Play David Johnson.
David Johnson is like a pass threat is fine. This is PPR. And I mean, week 1, he had that touchdown catch out of the backfield.
Houston's playing the Bills though, so I don't think that's smart. I think Trey against Seattle would be
maybe that is smart, right? Because if they fall behind, so maybe I'm talking myself out of this. Listen to me here real quick, Simple Trading Joe. Just
listen to Daddy.
Stop typing, start listening. Keep going. He just keeps going in the chat.
I like.
So they're going to fall
Super Bowl.
behind early, right? Here's the logic: they're going to fall behind early, which makes Philip Lindsay and Ingram irrelevant because then they can't be in the game anymore because they can't catch balls. And David Johnson's going to have to play the whole game out of the backfield. Like,
Exactly.
if they had Tyrod, I'd feel better about it because he scrambles around and then dumps it off to a running back all the time. Like he made a living in Buffalo doing that until he got benched. So I would take that gamble over anything, especially because it's PPR. But if for some reason you wake up tomorrow and they say Trey Sermon is the starter in San Francisco, you have to play him. Whoever the San Francisco starting running back is a must play every week because that's what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball.
100%.
But if he is the number 2 back tomorrow, then go David Johnson. That's how I play it.
Good bet. All right, we got speaking of, we got the Texans and the Bills. I couldn't go with the Texans on this. There's just no way.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't. It's just not a. If Houston wins,
You're welcome, Joe. Thank you very much for watching.
if Houston wins, dude, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, watch them just upset.
The universe will crack.
There is no reason to take Houston, though, because nobody else in the league is. So you might as well say, if I get it wrong, so does everyone else. Like, there's no reason. I want to know who makes up this 1% or if they're just rounding up.
Who do I flex? Jonathan Taylor, Corey Davis, Chuba.
Let's make it through one more game before we get to that question. But I'm also curious with this person. Aaron, who are your 2 starting running backs if you consider Jonathan Taylor and Chuba flexes?
Yeah, for real.
Who the fuck are you?
I want to know who these 2 guys are. So please share.
Yeah.
And then let's go to the next game. It's Detroit Lions at Chicago, which is officially this week's toilet bowl. I don't even have to see what the rest of the games are.
Was this?
I took the Bears at home, but I could be swayed either way on this, and I'll listen off air for the 3 of you to tell me.
Do you want me to go next?
Go for it.
I absolutely picked the Lions. The Bears are the worst team. I'm glad that we switched the sports program team from the Bears.
I agree.
Back to the Washington Football Club, I believe, is what we decided.
That is right. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Which also is just going to be shitty. I just don't think. I don't know how Jared Goff is a better quarterback than. I don't know.
Aaron has James Robb and Derrick Henry for his. So that's good.
What?
Okay, I get it now. I get it now.
You play with a bunch of idiots, obviously.
Other questions, though. Yeah. He traded Mark Andrews for Jonathan Taylor, which.
Oh. Okay.
So I do think we'll get to that game, but I do think it's a breakout week for Jonathan Taylor. Back to this game, though. It's sad because I think Jared Goff is the best quarterback on either team.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say, but then I was like, do we need to count Justin Fields out this early? And I think yes.
I'm switching mine to the Lions.
I'm not saying best. I'm not saying best. I'm not saying he's not the best prospect out of any of these guys. I'm saying if you put Jared Goff on the Bears, they would win this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
That's all I'm saying about that. I think Jared Goff on the Bears, they might be 2-1 right now, maybe 3-0. So that's how I feel about the Bears quarterback situation. I took the Lions in this game. Now, caveat to that, if Andy Dalton ends up starting this game, if they announce tomorrow Andy Dalton is good to go, I will be switching this pick to the Bears.
And Jeff, you took the Bears?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I took the Lions. They are what is called due.
I switched to the Lions. And the Panthers are at the Cowboys at home. Oh man, I'm taking the Cowboys at home. I think they're so first off, the last Cowboys showing, I liked what I saw, which I hate. I hate that I liked what I saw. I just don't know if the Panthers can. I think it's cool the Panthers are 3-0. Like good for them, I guess. But I think Like this will be the game where the Panthers will. I think they're going to look like the Panthers,
Hell yeah.
and I'm taking the Cowboys.
So is that coming from a divisional distaste from you, Jeff? Is that why you're
Absolutely. I
Okay,
hate that
well-
they're 3-0.
I think that you can't let that sway what you feel could really happen.
You can though.
But I also
you
believe in
shouldn't.
those boys, so Team Hard Knocks.
Yeah, but that's because you somehow drafted like 4 players from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Might as
Oh,
well be
sick.
4.
Yeah, I mean,
This
is rough. This is actually a pretty rough game to call. I am real high on the Cowboys right now. I'm semi high, semi hard for the Panthers, but just
God.
it's a hard semi right now. They are the number 1 defense in the league right now, and Sam Darnold looks good.
He does.
I don't know if that's. I'm gonna sit on that one for now. I think it's safe to say.
I'm going Panthers, baby. I'm going Panthers just for every reason that Zach just said.
They're not going to. They are going to drastically drop in defensive production in this game, and there's no Christian McCaffrey. And one of the people that Aaron threw out there for people to pick is Robbie Anderson. Where the hell has that dude been? That's he's getting like 1 to 2 catches a week.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
If you're going to go with a wide receiver there, you're going Corey Davis, sadly, over Robbie Anderson. Who would have thought? But I think the correct answer there is
Nick
safe
Chubb.
bets, Chuba. But I think Jonathan's going to have a breakout week this week.
I think
Those are the
Chubb's-
only 2 I would
I
consider.
think Chubb's the man. He's the guy. Anyways,
Why?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers, and I hope it works out.
I don't.
Well, if they fall behind, if that's a PPR league for Aaron, if they fall behind, Chuba's great because I think he's the passing option out of him and Royce Freeman. But if it's a neck and neck game, they're going to probably split carries as far as who their running back is. But I don't know, man. Jonathan Taylor is the for sure number 1 guy in Indianapolis. So I'm taking if I have an opportunity to play like a top 10 running back as a flex, I'm probably going to do it. I know he hasn't delivered yet, but I think he's due to deliver.
Sure.
And I got the Cowboys in this game.
All right. And the Colts, the Dolphins at home. I'm taking the Dolphins at home because I'm just not sure on the Colts, man. I can't take them. I can't do it until they win a game. I knew Carson Wentz wasn't going to be the answer. I knew he wasn't going to be the answer before we even went into the season. I don't think he's the answer to any question unless the question is what quarterback washes out fastest.
Yeah.
Unless the question is who isn't the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless the question is who is not the answer, that answer is Carson Wentz, actually, ironically enough.
Yep.
It's not the answer in Indy. They should have got Uncle Phil out of retirement. I'm going to go with the Dolphins at home.
Go, boys. I'll let you guys go.
I'm going Colts, man.
Yeah. This is a no-brainer to me over Jacoby Brissett.
I will say I made this pick. I made this pick prior to knowing that Tua was. I didn't know that Tua got hurt, so I should have guessed.
Well, he's been out a couple weeks.
Yeah,
I
He's been out a couple weeks now.
Is it week 2 or was it?
I don't watch a lot of Dolphins games, so
yeah.
I try not to pay attention.
Yeah.
maybe
No, I
Jacoby Brissett against his former team. I don't know. There could be something there.
Yeah.
Oh. A-Rod, let's talk real quick. How do I feel about Gesicki?
A-Rod.
Let's just say I made some moves on him the last couple weeks. That is my he is my replacement to how bad Kyle Pitts has been so far. So yes,
I try. Yeah,
hot on that boy.
I need to give up on Kyle Pitts for a week or 2.
Simple
I
trading.
just can't on him.
I like the Washington defense over the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, Washington. So I get why you would take the Cowboys defense. They're kind of like the Saints defense from a couple of years ago that just kind of snacked on turnovers. Like the Saints already had an efficient offense, but those couple of years they were in the NFC Championship games. They were just turning the ball over and getting points off it at all the right times. That defense reminds me a lot of that. The problem is that Carolina's being extremely safe with the football right now. Sam Darnold's not turning it over. And you know who's probably going to turn it over? Matt Ryan. So
That-
Washington D is going to get to the quarterback. If you get to Matt Ryan, he's going to make really suspect throws. Sus, as some
Yes, he
people would call it
does.
on the intranet.
If that Lions
So-
defense is, I'm starting the Lions defense in a league.
Yeah, so the problem with trying to be cute, Sean, is that you do shit like what I did on Thursday, which is playing the Cincinnati D against the Jags, and they got 1 fantasy point. Trying
Well,
to be
that's not
cute with their defense,
That's not cute.
it is. They're playing the team
Yeah.
with the most turnovers in the league.
Yeah,
Trevor
that's-
Lawrence had 7 turnovers in 3 games.
but the Bengals defense isn't that good, right?
They're great at getting to the quarterback this year. And if you watch that game, they held them to 200 yards passing. It's just they didn't turn the ball over once, which is what I expected them
Yeah.
to do.
I had it
Um,
on, but I was watching it on my phone and I couldn't.
Back to this game, though, the Dolphins have a great defense. That's kind of what they're hanging their hat on. But I think the Colts' defense is great as well. So I would take the Colts in this game because I think they also can have an offense with Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, and Carson Wentz just has to manage the game. So that's who I'm going with there. Derek is not on, so we can't scroll down right now, but I'll just go ahead and say
Yeah,
the
we
next
got
game is Cleveland at Minnesota. Minnesota is the #1 offense in the league right now.
Really? I didn't know that.
Them and the Cardinals are putting up like 30 points every single week.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I've started Kirk Cousins in a desperate league.
Over who?
Who
was the guy before? It has to be.
It was
has to be someone who was not delivering.
It wasn't good. It was. I don't
Mac
know. I
Jones.
dropped him. It didn't even matter. I think
So
I started. I
That's
started with.
terrifying.
Well, it's a small bench. It's a 4-bench league.
Oh,
Oh wow.
So I
I love that.
Yeah, it's actually really fun. Makes pick. I had Baker
ahead,
in, and then I tried to go with Jameis Winston.
Oh, you started with Baker. That's who you started
Yeah,
with.
I
That
started
totally
with-
makes sense. Okay, so Kirk Cousins is fine.
Started with Baker. He didn't perform, so I was like, Jameis Winston had a great week, and then he played like dog shit, and I was like, I can't trust this guy. And not that I thought that Jameis was going to come throw 5 touchdowns again, you know what I mean? But I thought he would at least get another 2 or 3 touchdowns in the next game.
Don't get cute, Simple Joe. Don't get
Yeah,
cute.
you just missed that. You missed the conversation. You can't get cute in fantasy. I actually benched Joe. I benched Joe in a week last week for Daniel Dimes against the Falcons, and that was stupid. You just can't get cute, and you can't give up on people early. But speaking of your dilemma, your Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield situation, who do you have in this game, Sean?
I mean, I'm gonna pick the Browns.
Oh, we moved on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Browns. I think obviously it's going to be a good game. Both teams are, very versed in the scoring. The running backs. How has the
I think
Vikings defense been against the running game?
Bad. There's just not a good defense. Like they're one of those teams like the Cardinals where they're going to have to win every game by scoring 30 points.
Mhm.
I think the Browns might have an offensive breakout week though. I moved Odell Beckham into my starting lineup in 2 leagues.
Oh boy.
Just to
I'm gonna say
see see what pops off.
I'm going to say the Browns, and I'm going to say they're going to be able to.
You can do whatever you want.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think the Browns are going to. Here's my take. I think the Browns are going to win big.
Oh, I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a day, and Justin Jefferson's going to have a day.
I hope Justin Jefferson has a day.
But
Man,
I think the Browns
can't
can
bank
win.
on Kirk Cousins.
I'm going to go with there's only one team here who has a defense, so that's kind of where I drew the line. I went with the Browns.
Me too.
Moving on.
Browns, baby Browns.
Ooh, this is rough.
Saints at home. I went with
There we
Saints at home. The Giants just aren't. I'm not. I don't feel faithful. I don't have a lot of faith in the Giants. I not taking them. Not taking them until they win a game.
Yeah, man, I don't know if you've been paying attention though, but Saquon's starting to get a little hot.
I know.
Didn't I say that a little earlier today?
You did. I know. I think he's gonna have a breakout. I think eventually when
He already did. He did last
when he
week.
gets
He had a
hot,
great game
he'll
last
still
week.
have his season.
They're turning the thermostat up a little bit every game with the guy. I mean, week 1 he had 50 yards in the first half, and then they just cooled off on playing him. And there was also a game where they needed to pass the ball. But I think now it's like full blown. Let's ride Saquon. The problem is that the Saints defense does not care who the running back is on the other team, and it's at home. I don't know if their home games are actually in New Orleans right now, but
Yeah, I'm not
I don't think
sure.
it matters.
I don't think it.
I
I
don't-
don't think they are, but I don't think it matters.
I mean, I
I
think
don't-
every other year New Orleans is flooded, right? So you never can tell.
Yeah, I don't know if it is, but this
It's
seems
just
like
all
one of
out
those
of fear.
games where especially with the lack of receivers apparently for the Giants. It seems like one of those games where Daniel Dimes is going to do something stupid.
Can I ask you a question? So you do this a lot, Zach, where you spew out all these really convincing remarks to switch a pick, but then you never tell me your fucking pick.
I picked the Saints.
Yeah. Everyone's
Okay.
sleeping on our defense, bro. Like,
All right, you're picking the Saints, huh? Well,
I'm
you just talked me into picking the Giants, though.
That's great, man. I got to get
Do
ahead
it.
of you. We're tied
Go
right
for
now,
it.
so
Well, I'm not switching, but you almost did.
I love
Well, I
Daniel
need to pick
Jones,
winners
but he's
because I'm in
gonna get
11th place. So
All right, fuck, dude. Now I need to revise all of my pick. Like, I just don't know who to listen to anymore.
think on it, pray on it.
Like, do I switch to the Cowboys now?
Don't tinker.
no, I need to get ahead of you right now, Sean. Keep all your stuff the way it is.
Titans at the Jets.
King Henry.
I don't think we should. I think we should all just say Titans. Move on. I don't
Well,
think we should-
okay. Well, let's just stop right there.
all
I just
right.
want to say this real quick, Randy. I'm really glad I could give you that win last week on fantasy, but at least I can bank on knowing that your team still sucks so long and so hard.
Well, don't get too
Damn.
cocky on him though. You're having a rough season too.
Yeah, but my season
week
will.
4.
I'm not a fan of a foundationally bad team. Like
that's
my
true.
team will eventually be good again
Well,
at some point.
we hope so, right?
Even when I'm 70 years old, I
mean,
might
the
see
Jets-
another good season from the Steelers. I don't know that we see it from the Jets.
Let's hold on. So the
Unless
Jets
you're
were
100
the
and you're a
Jets
big
were
Joe
good.
Namath fan.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say they're probably holding on to that. What if you become that? What if 20 years from now you're like, I remember Big Ben, and we're still shitty. What if you go through that?
They're just not a foundationally bad team, though. Like that's the teams that
Yeah.
teams
like
can
the-
turn it around. The Browns
Yeah.
have turned it around,
Yeah.
but I just don't know that the Jets are that team.
The Browns have turned it around, but have they won anything yet? No. And it's hurt a little bit.
They still turn it around for that franchise, though.
Well, what do you got to say, Zach? What do you got to say about the game, bud?
Oh, but hold on real quick. The real reason why I took the Titans on the road though was because of Derrick Henry. I'm taking the
Bad.
Titans because of Derrick Henry.
His
King
penis
Henry.
is so huge, it just makes him move forward. That's just the facts.
It's just the
Oh,
weight.
bad.
The weight of it drags him forward from his
It's
dome.
going to
Nice.
have to be Derrick Henry because I'm pretty sure that they ruled out every starting receiver on the entire team. Like every single starter they have at wide receiver is out. Julio's out.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not bringing any of them. Like literally, they're like 3 best receivers are all out this game.
Okay.
So they're just banking on just running the football in New York and playing
So-
defense.
Oh,
So-
hey, here's a good comment, and my answer is nah.
Yeah. So if there was drama, then
Nah.
What is SEC?
SEC, man? It's the
SEC.
worst
Is that
college football.
college football?
if
Yeah.
that would have been the case, then Georgia, Arkansas would have been good today. Alabama, Ole Miss would be good right now. But it's just all chalk. It's all exactly what it is every year. And
There's no
Drama
drama there.
yeah, there was a
The
couple
drama is just whether or not
weeks
the
where there was
Crimson
drama.
Tide win the SEC. Like that's the drama. Like
And then even if they don't, they'll still make the playoffs and somehow
Right.
make it to the championship game. What's
The-
the next
only
one?
time- the
I'm
only
going
time
Titans,
drama-
by the way.
The only time drama existed in the SEC is that one year where Zach and I switched our lives and started rooting for Ed Ogeron. Like that was it. Like Ed Ogeron made SEC watchable, and then they
For a
were
year.
terrible last year. So
I was over it after that, anyways.
Yeah, me too.
Next game.
Next game. Chiefs and Eagles.
This one's easy.
I am taking the Chiefs, obviously, but I do think this could be a good game. I think this could be a very watchable, fun game to watch.
I think the Eagles have made every game so far pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But it only took like 1 week for Jalen Hurts to look like Jalen Hurts again. So things are back to normal. Chiefs are gonna steamroll them. I don't think this game's close. That's my ball.
What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, it's I like it's crazy that the Chiefs are 1-2, but like they're
But
gonna
they're still the
smack.
Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, they did lose last week to the Chargers, and the Chargers are a good team. They didn't
Chargers
lose
are
to a
good.
bad
I
team.
love the Chargers.
Yeah, but isn't this kind of like I was saying with 1 and 2 fantasy football teams though? Isn't this kind of a make or break week for the Chiefs? They go to 1 and 3, and Raiders keep winning, Broncos keep winning, Chargers aren't going to stop winning.
Yeah,
And I don't think they can afford to lose this game.
Any other team, I would agree, but
And
God,
then
I feel like the Chiefs being 1 and 3 would be perfect for that little narrative from that team. Is like they come back from they'll go 1 and 3, and then they'll be in the freaking Super Bowl. Like I don't know, man.
And there's only a matter of time before the Broncos and Raiders come back to reality. So,
well, yeah, we'll get there.
Like the Eminem song,
We'll
"Back
get
to
there.
Reality." Stupid.
that's the name of it.
So we all take the Chiefs.
I mean,
I
I'm
love
picking
that
the
song,
Chiefs.
Back to reality.
I'm picking the Chiefs, man. I don't
Jeff's
know.
the
man.
goat here.
What could you even say? What could you even
Yeah.
say about the Eagles?
Just ranked up from that.
I don't like this.
I can't drop any lower.
Oh no. Stupid. Here.
I actually like
in
this.
the
This would be
top and I'm
fun.
in the bottom, bro. What are you doing?
I kind of like this.
Yeah.
I like
We'll go to the
how
next
I
game, please.
like how I actually didn't move. I'm still in the same spot.
Here's our fantasy rankings.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
that's pretty accurate.
What?
Feels about right. Next game. Cardinals of the Rams. So man, I hate to sound like to toot my own horn here, but this is exactly what I was saying the Rams are going to look like this season. I do think the Rams are going to win the division. And I think Matt Stafford is exactly what the team thought he was going to be. I thought he looks good on that team.
Who
They made
who-
the Rams made a really good pick in the offseason.
Guys,
A
let's
really
talk.
good trade move that I think we all kind of knew was going to, we all kind of knew it was going to be this way.
does it warm your guys' heart to see Matt Stafford finally look happy out on the field?
No, it doesn't. It does nothing for me.
No.
What are you talking about? That
really.
cute little beer chugging face of his. He looks like a little.
I thought Matthew Stafford was endearing on the Lions. I liked that he was the best player on that team, and I liked that he had a back injury every year because he was carrying that team on their shoulders. I love that narrative and that joke that I made nearly every single week. I thought that he would enjoy it in Los Angeles. I haven't been wrong so far. I do think they win that division. I'm taking the Rams at home in this game, though. Not to say that the Cardinals couldn't pull out a win here, though.
Yeah.
I hate the percentage on this. Like it's like so like one sided.
I don't think it should be. I think it should be more 50-50.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I
only
put the
a-
Cardinals
it's
on
only a
this. Kyler
4-point
Murray's not going
spread.
to stop.
I have Kyler Murray in my my work
Bet.
league, and I need him
yeah.
to have a huge
I
game.
just think that the Rams defense will help them get the edge and secure the victory.
That's where I'm at too. I think
still
they're
have their
pretty even. I think they're pretty even offenses.
Yeah.
They're two of the best in the league.
Yeah.
I think the
Very
Cardinals
very
are
explosive.
Cardinals are top 3. The Rams are probably just a little bit outside of there, but they're more balanced. I went with a more balanced team. But Cardinals are a way more fun fantasy team. They're like you can just go pick anybody on that starting offense, and they're gonna deliver. They have 3 receivers you can take your pick from. I've been riding Kirk and Evans a lot this year because I couldn't get my hands on the top guys. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Rams are they're plug and play with Sean McVay's offense. So
I know. So I agree with everybody. I still think to Jeff's point, though, this should have been a little more 50-50.
I agree.
For sure.
I don't think this isn't a game where the Rams roll the Cardinals. I don't think by any means.
No.
This actually might be game of the week. This might be the best game of the week.
I will be.
Well,
watching
you
the
know
fuck
what
out
everybody's saying the game. We'll get there, but I'm gonna be doing this the whole time we talk about it when we get there.
of that.
I'll just be milking all the dudes in my eyes when we start talking about it.
Go Cards.
Go on.
I think
Anyways,
this
I went
should be
Rams.
This should be the Sunday night game. This should be. I think.
I feel like you're completely 100% accurate.
This could be a really good game. Seattle and 49ers. Man, this one, the 47-53%, this feels way more realistic.
This feels right.
This feels about right. And honestly, I could have coin flipped on this one. I went with the Niners at home, and that was it. Based on at home, you know me, I'm a traditionalist as far as that goes. I took the 49ers at home.
Yeah, I went with a better team.
Yeah.
This was an easy pick for me. I didn't see any. I don't get the 2.5 point spread. I don't think this game's close. I think the Niners take care of business. They're coming off of a tough loss to Green Bay. Statement game for them. Seattle is just Seattle right now. I think they're gonna start the year like 2-5.
You know, sadly, just the way that Seattle has been losing, I feel like is a staple for what's going to happen.
See, and I still felt that even at 0, I felt if Seattle was winless right now at 0-3, I still feel like this could have been a tougher game for 49ers just based on the matchup alone.
I just think because
it is the Seahawks.
Because it always is a tough
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good
regardless
point.
if it was Niners, Cards, Rams, Niners.
If this was the 49ers going up to Seattle, I would have taken the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean,
I still would not have.
Fair point.
I mean, the Niners have.
This could also be game of the week.
Sean, you gonna come watch that at Shooters with me or what?
Possibly, man. Possibly.
They lost. The Seahawks lost at home to the
fans.
Titans. That's all I gotta say about that.
Not if that one scary Seahawks fan is there, Jeff. I will not be there.
Just
that guy is
tickle him.
terrifying.
Well, they
Which
will.
one?
There
No.
will be.
You know which guy I'm talking about, Derek? The guy
the-
from that week
Yeah.
one, the scary
Cool
dude,
guy.
who I made
The
friends with. So
flip-flops.
if I ever need to get in a fight, he's there to have my back.
Oh God.
Oh, the big dude.
Yeah. Well, he
Your
wasn't
big
big.
Niners
He was
buddy.
like, no, not
No.
that guy. It was the Seahawks fan that was like,
Oh, that's
the
right.
beard.
I made friends with him. He's like a short, dwarf-looking dude who would probably kill like 5 dudes in the room because he's terrible.
Baker Mayfield. All right. Moving
Oh
on.
my! How fucking dare you, dude?
Moving on to the next game.
Okay.
Ravens at Broncos.
Oh, I like to see what you did.
I took the Ravens on the road, but this is one of the ones that I was actually pretty unsure of. The Broncos have 3 wins. The Broncos are at home. It's harder to go into Mile High Stadium and get a win, even with the Broncos at their
It's
worst.
because of the
It's still tough to
altitude.
get a win. I'm still going to go with the Ravens on the road.
I
Even
want
though
the
I-
Ravens too. What the fuck?
My heart says I want the Ravens to lose this game.
I want to go last.
Oh well, then I went with the Broncos. I'll go with this. I usually don't break the trend of if the away team is the Vegas favorite, I always take the away team. It's only a -1, so it's really a pick'em, kind of a coin flip game. But I went with there's just something about the Broncos right now. I don't think they stay hot for the entire season, but I think they got a couple more weeks of juice left. A couple more weeks of that Bridgewater magic. So
I
and
had
also
the Ravens. I don't know why, but I switched the Broncos.
Yeah.
Broncos look sick.
and I think Cortland Sutton has a pretty big game in this game. I think it's I think it's like a 28-24 Broncos type win here.
I want to be wrong. I want the Broncos to win this game.
I'm gonna go Broncos, and I might even start Patrick in all the leagues I can get him in.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, I already got him in too.
Oh,
See
boy.
what I did. I took
Did it. All right, so I know you really followed that mantra last year,
I took
is it-
Steelers every game last year.
but is
and
it just? But last year there was a little more faith in the games
Man, look, if the Steelers couldn't pull it out against the Bengals, I just find it hard to believe they would win on the road against the Packers.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This one hurts. I know it does. I get it.
It does hurt. I mean, that said, this could be a game that the Steelers get in and get that sneaky win. Sometimes they do that against better teams. I mean, I don't know. I'm going with the Packers though, because I want to win Pickem and I want to get back in the God's good graces. So I'm taking the Packers. I hope I'm wrong. I would be okay with losing this in the pick. I'm already losing so badly. I hope I'm wrong. I'll root for the Steelers still. I just don't see it. They don't have
Watt's back though, right?
They don't have
Watt's
Claypool.
Watt's back.
Watt's back?
Yeah, Watt's not on the injury list.
I mean, he's still got that groin injury. I don't know.
I mean,
a couple of their offensive linemen are out, and they already have a bad offensive line. Claypool's out, and the Packers are probably a top 5 team in the league. But I agree with you. It could be like they do perform well against other good teams. And if you leave week 4 saying that you beat the Packers and the Bills for your 2 wins, I think you feel pretty good moving forward. But after the Packers beat the Niners last week, I think they're just clicking. I'm gonna stick with them for now. But yeah, I think this could be a really close game.
Yeah, I went Packers.
Right. Buccaneers at New England. This is not the game of the week.
Here it is,
This
guys.
Not going to be the game of the week.
Here it is.
I think
could be
the
good.
Buccaneers beat the.
What?
I
No,
think
it
the
can't
Buccaneers
be
beat
good.
the Patriots.
It could be good.
Bad.
I'm excited for this one. What are you guys talking about?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm pumped for this game.
Brady's return.
Yeah, they're going to slaughter the Patriots. Is
I
that
think they're
what
gonna
you
be
mean
fine.
by fun?
I don't
I think it'll
the
be close.
Patriots defense out. Fuck.
Oh my god.
I don't think the Patriots have a chance in hell. I don't think so.
I think it could be good.
Okay, who did you pick and pick them?
I picked the Bucks. I'm not stupid.
Okay, so what do you mean it could be good? It's not going to be good.
Not gonna be a good game.
There's literally nothing good about this game. We
Listen,
already saw Mac Jones just not having the weapons he needs.
They could this week though.
And do you think that the Patriots defense are finally going to push it into gear?
Yeah, they could.
Mac 10 could go fully automatic in this game.
Yeah.
You never know.
Dumb.
This motherfucker
No.
is this guy.
Hold on, let me fix this.
Mac Jones is like a BB gun, dude.
I'm back,
Well,
baby.
maybe he's
What
gonna
do
go
you
fully.
know?
fully
How
auto,
am I
bro.
not above Zach right now?
You could be.
That's fine.
You could be though.
Well, now you. Okay, well now it's Derek and me being realistic and sandwiching you silly fools.
We'll bookend them. I don't
I
think
win
the
though,
Patriots
between
win.
you guys right now.
I don't even think I think the Patriots scored a touchdown.
I think they score a few.
They'll score more than that. I mean, I just don't think so. But I mean, you never know. I just don't think so.
Tampa Brady.
I think it'll be a close game. Belichick's going to coach his dick off, right? Full dick off
Dude,
his body by the end of
But
this
Tampa
game.
Bay has Bruce Arians, man. It's not like the guy's walking
I
in with
think-
some schlub.
Yeah, I also
People
think
talk
that
about Bruce Arians like he was always a good coach. I'm super confused by that.
He was a really good
a really good
offensive
coach.
coordinator.
he was a
He
good
got
coach
swag.
in
Always.
Arizona.
He's always been the best. How many Super Bowls did he win
I
before
didn't
Tom
say
Brady?
he was always the best coach. I said
How
he was
many?
a good coach.
How many Super
9.
Bowls was he the head coach for before Tom Brady?
He went to
How
a
many?
He coached a Super Bowl.
He went to one. Cool. You know who else did? A lot of people. Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn
Damn,
went
Zach
to a Super
really
Bowl.
hates Bruce Arians.
I think Zach really hates Dan Quinn.
Oh yeah.
No, I love Dan Quinn. He's the reason the Dallas Cowboy defense is tolerable now.
Do you like Kyle Shanahan?
Love Kyle Shanahan.
Let's just say that if Bruce Arians wanted to, leave his post as the head coach of the Buccaneers, I would take him handily back on the Steelers as offensive coordinator.
Oh, I like me some Leftwich though. That's what I'd be going after. I'd be poaching the Leftwich.
I do love Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, that's what I'd be going after, man. I'd be bringing
Listen.
bringing the lefty back.
Fuck
All
the
right.
Patriots. Mac Jones. Fuck Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, there's no world where I'm taking the Patriots in this game, but I did enjoy that segment.
Okay.
I bet you did.
That was the Sunday game. The Monday game is the Raiders at the Chargers. I do not
Chargers.
care how many wins the Chargers or the Raiders have. I am taking the Chargers at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Taking them at home.
And the Raiders are getting some crazy wins, obviously.
Man, I did not realize this was a Monday night game.
This is a big game. This is
does
a
that
big
change? Does that change everything
It
for
does
you?
because Gruden does not lose Monday night games.
Yeah, why did
Yeah.
I take the Raiders over the Ravens at the beginning of the season? I said it then, I'll say it now. Gruden on Monday night. He's like 4-1 since he came back, and all time I don't know what his record is, but I know it's a winning record. He does not lose on Monday night, home or away.
Especially against the Chargers. If the Chargers were going to lose a game, this would be the game to lose. This would be the one, the big one to lose. Because it's the Raiders on Monday night on the road.
Yeah, and Derek Carr's throwing 400 yards a game, and the defense that everyone wants to make fun of is not too bad, but the Raiders defense can only hold up for so long, right? And I'm also a Herbert fan, so I can't pick against
That's
him.
fine.
I'm going to take the Chargers every week.
That's
yeah,
why
I'm
I'm
sorry.
taking-
I am having that. I'm having the same issue, man.
I can't pick against the guy.
No.
Is it
But
because of, is
I
it
think
because
we
of
could all
that
end up being
flashy
wrong about
smile?
this.
Is it because of those, just his beautiful face?
It's just because he's that dude, you know? Some people are kind of the dude, but he is that dude.
50-50.
I want 55.
Going 50.
I think
I
I went
went-
55 too.
I went 48.
Sneaky.
Each team
There's going to
can
be
score
800
25.
yards passing in this game if things hold up the way they have so far this year. There's going to be 800 yards between the two guys.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be a fucking shootout of. This is gonna be like Peyton Manning and Tony Romo 2000 and.
Oh, if you don't have it, you can just throw a year out. It doesn't really matter. No
I think
one's
it was
gonna-
I'm not going to fact check it.
I wasn't going to fact
I think
check
it was
it.
2016.
Unless
That's
you,
right.
well, then that's us. I don't think either of them played. in
We
2016.
traditionally don't fact check anything else on this show. I'm not going to fact check that.
You should have said an older date at least. 2012 would have been a good one.
No, it was Tony's like last season before he retired.
Yeah, but he had a robot neck by then.
You're a robot neck, dude.
I love me some Tony Romo. I just don't know if he played football in 2016.
I think
He tried. I bet he
in fact-
tried.
He thought
God
about
I'm
it.
sure he would.
I'm looking.
I'm
it up.
literally. This is how I'm googling it. Tony and Peyton shootout.
Oh my god. No.
I hope it
that's
takes
insane.
you to two different dudes doing something completely different.
Oh god, that was 20. That was
No.
20. It was 2013.
I said to go 2012. I said to go 2012.
Broncos and Cowboys.
Time goes by faster than you think. Yeah, I hope you just Googled two dudes shooting it out with each other.
Yeah,
That's
that was
Drew
exactly what I
Brees,
Googled, and
Eli
it told me
shootout.
that I shouldn't Google that without incognito mode.
Yeah, can you go into incognito and then go
Yeah,
Peyton
you
and
should- you should
Tony.
do that.
shooting it out?
Peyton and Tony shooting it out.
Rule 34. All
Shoot
right.
it on.
Well, thanks for watching the show. That's it. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Got our Pickems out of the way. I hope everybody enjoys a good weekend of football and also a good weekend of baseball. This is it. This is a big weekend.
Shooters or what?
This is it.
many
Well,
shooters
it's
or what?
mostly it. There's one more?
And like 2 more days until preseason basketball starts.
Oh, man,
Let's
it's-
go.
He's got it. He's ready. God, they
I
got
like
Carmelo
I-
Anthony.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so sad.
I'm gonna get me a Mellow jersey.
Do it.
You know, the kid. By the way, I teach high school kids, and they keep trying to call LaMelo Ball Mellow, and I'm like, there is one Mellow. That's LaMelo Ball. That's LaMelo, not Mellow. Are you dumb? They're talking about Mellow, and I'm like, that's LaMelo Ball. Like, Mellow is Carmelo Anthony, you idiots.
Yeah.
And in their defense,
I fail them all.
they probably don't know Carmelo was ever like a scoring goat. And also, the young people do call LaMelo Mellow, from what I
They
know.
shouldn't.
That
Well,
ain't
guess
it.
what? Guess what?
I think they're
the
gonna
young-
though.
Fuck the youth, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck the
Yeah.
youth.
Can you just tell them that for me, Derek? Can you tell them fuck the youth?
Can
Yeah.
you stand up?
I'll write it on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be like,
If
I
you
can't
just-
wait until you guys are all old.
Just do the F and then do like the asterisks or whatever to like so it doesn't actually say fuck and
Yeah.
they'll get it.
They'll get it.
Or do they not? Do they not understand that yet?
No, they'll know.
Okay.
Tell
Everybody have a
them
great weekend.
tell them when they're 35 and there's someone named Trey Mello and their kids are calling that guy Mello, that he's not the real
Jesus.
Mello. There's only one Mello, and his name is LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. I'll be 120.
Trey Mello.
And the cycle continues.
Trey Mello.
I
All right,
like
everybody have a
that.
great weekend. Thanks for watching.
Kobe.
I'll
Johnson.
see you when the sun sets.
Go Warriors. Go Wild.
Yep.